So let's look at Jake Gonzalez's list, because this is something y'all gonna like, because it's a throwback to the kids. He said, Orks, what else would I play? Nothing you get, just a green tide. It's all about that wall. So we got Captain Badrug, Miles Wrong Scragbag, Nabon Smash Squid, Edwapa Skill Chopper, Nabon Smash Squid, follow me lads, Nabon Smash Squid, Beast-Snaggle Boys, Beast-Snaggle Boys, Flash Gets, Gretchen, Killrig, Squighog Boyz, Brick, boom, the end. Yep, that's the whole list. 3 units of Squighog Boyz, 2 Killrigs, 1 Gretchen unit, Flash Gets, and then 2 units of Beast-Snaggle Boys for each Killrig. Bam. Squig Bam. He just said Squig Bam, and then I'm gonna put some Flash Gets in there so I get some full firepower from them guns, and I'm good enough. Let me get rid of Still Up. So I had a bunch of lists. So yeah, he just decided I'm gonna bring all of the Squigs. I'm gonna bring the Squigs back. So let's see how the Squigs did. They got 18th, so he was doing great. Let's see what his matchups were. Going first, boom, right away, Imperial Knights. So some people might think, oh man, I don't know, there's a lot of stuff for you to deal with. Could they survive all that? Yeah, sorry, in reality, the Squigs really do kind of run over Imperial Knights. Even with the Killrigs, even if they do get blown up, the Squigs themselves are just, as they run into any of those Knights, they just demolish. On the WAAAGH, he just the 5 of Binvol, and then being able to do Artist Nails, he'll survive combat. So we'll just go right over that. But a great job into him. You still love seeing it. Before the post data slate as well, Knights were Orc Predators, even with Squigs. Sometimes they were just Orc Predators. So it's something that we pay attention to, because that could change if they change the rules again. Maybe we don't know how that could end up changing us, because they were one of our hardest matchups too. So I did just go over it, but it's not that I'm not aware of its potential. So we got Chaos Lord as their second matchup, the Dark Commune, and the Master of X with the Mark. Cultist Mob, Accursed Cultist. So this is a very kind of annoying unit, to be honest, with all the ablative kind of mixed of wounds, right? You have guys that can take damage 1, guys that can take damage 2, and such. But really, that's why Orcs having mass damage 2 is kind of nice, because then they just blend through these guys. So like, put it on whoever you want. They're getting crumped. So we got 2 of those units of Accursed Cultists, Accursed Cultists, 2 units of Chosen, 2 Warp Talon units. So I know these are great for their version of Storm Boys, right? But they can punch a little bit. 1 Chaos Spawn. And then we have a Forge Fiend with the Actoplatinum, of course, and then 2 Rhinos for the Chosen, right? 1 Beast of Nurgle. These guys are kind of fun. One time, no joke, one time my Maz got stuck in combat with the Beast of Nurgle for like 3 rounds. I was so annoyed, because if you don't kill him outright, he fully heals, and he has an odd number of wounds at like 7 wounds. So it was just super obnoxious. And he was actually beating Gaz in a fight because he does dev wounds. So it was obnoxious. Nurgling. I'm not proud of this. I'm just letting you guys know. 2 units of Nurgling. So one thing about this, like I always say, guys, when you're playing against one of these kind of combined arms / melee armies that you know is going to get stuck in and actually be able to pick up your units, keep in mind keeping those 2 CP in the bank, being CP management aware that you allow yourself to fight in death, because fighting in death with knobs or squigs is how you really just put a wrench in the gears of all these big units, because they're thinking, I have this brick, I'm running there, I'm gonna annihilate you, I'm gonna hold this position, I'm gonna survive when you do a little clapback to me, I'm gonna keep crumping you. You fighting in death, giving them like not a good trade is horrible for them, considering they're already overall more expensive army than. So he did go in there and end up beating them too. Right, so you would be like, dang, he's beating these with you would see him maybe think a little memey of a list, right? Because you're just thinking, man, it's all squigs. No, it's just straight power. That's what it is. He's just going straight power. So then we're gonna go number 3 with Jake Gonzalez list. He's going into Gene Stealer Colts. Something I'll say right here is Gene Stealer Colts coming off the board. They're hoping and praying they can just take off that 1 squig unit when they do come off, because they're conceding the board. Other than that, we're just running them over. We got 3 Primus, a Reductive Saboteur, so he's running in and trying to put some mortals into you. Squigs end up even having a Feel No Pain into that. I mean, even the Killrigs have a Feel No Pain into that. We have Beast Boss as well. We got Acolyte Hybrids. So these guys, normally you're like, oh, they might actually survive. They don't actually. But even with their damage that they're coming in off the side of the field with seismic cannons and stuff, I'm telling you, it's just not that reliable that they're going to actually be able to kill squig bricks. And then even leftover squig units just start annihilating them and holding the rest of the board. And you can see they have like Achilles Ridge Runners, and then they have a little bit of this like guard kind of whatever they're like a corrupt kind of cultist assistant, the guards cult assistant. But yeah, Gene Stealers are respectable, but for orcs on certain missions, you're just kind of running them over. Let's go into what was that, his 4th matchup? Did I just miss that? No, I didn't, right? No, this is his 4th matchup. So his 4th matchup, he ended up going into Nick Dot Toomey. So he ended up going into, I want to say this is the same guy, by the way. Yeah, this is the same guy for the orcs that Michael Mann ended up losing to, right? So we have right here, he had on the 4th round, and if you go up to, because that guy ended up doing good, right? Because if we go up to where is he at? I'm having a brain fart looking at him. Oh, I might have messed it up. Yeah, wait, where was this player, right? Nick do to me? I guess not, maybe. He was the same player though. That we over there. I guess I couldn't find it right now, but that's the same player that actually ended up being my command early in the round, earlier in that battle round. But going into Squigs, that many redundancy, I think he just kind of pressure overwhelmed him, but it was a hard win because look at that, 63 points. Because I was looking for where's Nick Toomey's score here. Right. Ooh, I was looking for that. I don't see it. Like maybe I just messed it up. But yeah, it wasn't like it was an easy win by any means, because like I said, all those profiles that we talked about with the castigators and stuff, there's a straight damage 3. Something to keep in mind there with that his 4th battle round, he did get a win there. Keep in mind, after he ended up getting that win, he went into the big dog. So he did lose after 2, but the only people he lost to with these last 2 games are people that ended up in the top 8. So Colin Dade and McDade ended up getting Colin Dade, yeah, he ended up getting 1st place right here. And then this other guy he lost to, Kit, right here in the last battle round with 79 points, got 7th place. So even though you're looking and you're like, oh, he lost 2 games, he didn't go undefeated, he didn't, it's fine, dude. He did a great job, because the only people he lost to people who did excellent, top 10 placers out of 100 people. So he only lost to the top almost literal 8% of player, 10 percentile. So that's nothing, especially considering he's running just Squigs and Killrigs. So it's very thematic, very fun. Oops, I picked Jake again. So that being said, let's look at this neck round list, right? So he says at least it's 18 race instead of 27 chicken. Feels like 6th edition. Oops, 6th edition doesn't sound fun. So Necron Shard with the Nightbringer, Void Dragon, Hexmark's Destroyer, Technomancer, Transcendent Catan. This guy brought more race. So the other guy, they were bringing just 12 of them. He went all the way out. The flayed ones, I believe they do infiltrating or they do deep strike. I'm having a brain fart right. 1 Locust Heavy Destroy. It's interesting, only brought 1 just so that he could kind of stick the Hexmark Destroyer with it. And then he brought 2 different Tomb Blades. So I think this is a big, more refined version of the list. Obviously, this person ended up winning the event, but I think fitting all 18 rights on the list, having more Tomb Blades for scoring potential matters more than having more characters or more spamming even more Catans if possible. So losing to the person who lost the event, sorry, excuse me, I hiccup there. Losing to the person who won the event's nothing to scoff at. But what surprised me about this is even with having that many Squigs, he still lost. So I wonder if the Killrigs didn't pull their weight, or if the Beastnaggle Boys didn't pull their weight, because I'm still pretty convinced that Squigs themselves do quite well into Necron race. I just think that they need some support, maybe between a tank shock from trucks or some grenades, or maybe flash kits to help throttle into one and start taking them down, because you don't want to get in prolonged stuck in fights with them, because you are then strength 5 without lance if you're stuck in a fight with those rates and you're wounding them on 5. So you do need to go in there and make sure that when the Squigs get in there, they charge them clean out. So that's something to definitely keep. And then the last matchup he had was going into the Dark Angels. So we have, again, like always, the very imposing Iron Storm Spearhead detachment. So we have Azrael, Raven Wing Talon Master. So that's interesting how they put the Talon Master with the machine aura, right? So can you imagine a bigger unit, right? Because then a normal character is just on foot or something like a tech. He's a bigger base, so he can move, so you can extend that aura range even more, and he can run around and be fast. And we have Tech Mean of them on the side, another Tech Priest. Inceptor, Scout Marines, Ballistic Dread, Raven Wing, Dark Shroud. That was what I found kind of interesting, just more shooting. Landspeeder Vengeance, Redemptor Dreadnought, Storm Strike Speeder, its ability at least gives +1 to wound, but when it targets a unit. And then here we have a Storm Raven Gunship. So when you're running a bunch of Squigs, you can imagine that having a Storm Raven Gunship, it gets I believe it's like twin linked on its hurricane bolter, so it's like 24 shots at strength 6 or 7 or something like that, and twin links, so you're re-rolling the wound roll. You have missiles and plasma cannons, and you're shooting them, that no one in the orc unit can really kill you or take you down. So you can run around and pop once things are popped, you can stage to totally shoot it. And if it disembarks, I'm not saying in this matchup, but in other matchups, and even with Squigs, I mean, you can with these flyer bases, remember, guys, with the real smart player, when the flyer can get shot, you'll pre-measure the enemy unit's move potential. So let's say you pre-measure the orcs moving, the Squigs moving, right? It moves 10 inches. You'll move your big fat dumb base in a way that the orcs won't be able to land where that plane base is if they move their full movement. So you can hinder Squighog Boyz movements taking up lanes just by putting flyers in that way. So that actually becomes a problem, surprisingly. So you think it's memeish, but it actually works on him with gunship. So shout out to Jake Gonzalez. You did a great job getting 8th place and getting 4-2. Nothing to scoff at losing to those people who did top. Something for us to keep in mind is even though I think we do quite well into Necrons, they do have potential if they go full throttle and depending on the mission to beat us, even if we are running all them squigs, because what you really need to do is make sure that you do a little bit of softening up before you get in there, or you'll be stuck in combat with them and you'll be winning them on 5. That's what actually would be kind of annoying.